The sound of where we live.
Breakfast.
Breakfast with Adam Green. BBC Radio Shropshire.
It is coming up to 7:54 on Wednesday morning on The Breakfast Show. Here is a question for you. What do you remember about your classroom at school? Take yourself back. You sat there in class. Have a look round in your mind's eye. What do you remember about your classroom that stands out? I just remember my classroom at primary school, the last classroom I was in, because it was an old Victorian building. I just remember it being enormous. It's kind of like a big church, but it wasn't a church. It was a school. Huge windows, really high ceilings, incredibly cold in winter and at any time, it seemed. It was a very, very cold building. And that's what I remember about my school. Just the walls being made of really sort of thick stone. I remember that there was almost like a mini library in one corner, and the window ledges and the windows were very, very big, thick stone, and the stone was always freezing cold. So if you leant back on a bench to read a book from this library and you caught the wall, it would be like, oh, that's cold. That's one of the things I remember. It sort of, that comes to me when I think about my classroom at school. What about you? What do you remember? Well, Tilstock Primary School have a brand new classroom designed and built by local people through funding from the Marches Academy. BBC Radio Shropshire's Ryan Kennedy was at the official opening by TV presenter Christina Trevanion.
Right, ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you strong enough, Max? Are you strong enough? Are you sure? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Christina, what do you make of this fabulous classroom?
I mean, isn't it just awesome? I could spend all day in here. Look at these wonderful green smooshy bean
Look
bags.
so comfortable.
They do. I'm going to hang on a second. Oh, look at that. I'm going to sit down in a minute.
Nice.
Grab
That's
a book.
nice.
Yeah, look at all these books. I mean, just the resources here are incredible. But not only that, the surroundings are just really engaging, aren't they? It's just such a great facility for the children to have now.
How important is that start in a child's life?
This is where teachers engage their pupils. This is where the rest of their academic career starts. And this is where the foundations are built. And I think it is so important that they have a really good first few years experience.
Does this take you back to your own school days? You know, walking into a school building, it does, doesn't it? You automatically reminisce.
Oh, completely and utterly. Yeah, and I love the tiny weeny loos. Look at them, they're just so tiny, aren't they? They're just brilliant. And looking at all the sort of rainbows and the drawers, and there's a teepee over there, and there's just books everywhere. I mean, it is just glorious. I wish life were this simple these days.
How is life in the antiques business, Christine?
It's good. It's very good. I mean, very buoyant, very, very buoyant. But, my career started at school. My sort of academic journey started, obviously, as everybody's does, most people does in school. And this is where it all starts. This is where it all starts. And I think that just cannot be underestimated.
You had some great helpers with the official opening as well.
Yeah, I did. Max and Eliza, wasn't it? Yeah, they were cool. I mean, to be fair, they were holding that ribbon so tight, I barely needed to cut it.
It was about to rip.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
So, Max, how was that whole experience for you?
A bit nervous because it was the first time I ever done it.
Well, you did a fantastic job, might I say.
Yeah,
And what do you think of your new classroom?
really good because I get to sit like my best friend Jessica. Sometimes I get a bit nervous sometimes at school, so
Jessica helps with that.
yeah.
My name is Mrs Kaminski and I'm the head teacher of Tilstock Primary School. We have grown considerably over the last few years, over doubled in size, and the original building is very much a Victorian building. So, for example, the windows are so high that the children can't see out, which was a great design back then, but it's not such a good design for now, for the children today. So we wanted to make sure we had additional space, but also that it met the needs of the children now. Our children needed somewhere that was calm, somewhere that interacted with nature as well, and that valued their interests and their needs. We used a local building firm, Grattan Oaks, and that was really important to us because community is really important to us. So, for example, Christina coming today to open up the classrooms, she's a local lady. It's that hope and aspiration for our children and that achievement, and I believe Christina's husband was a pupil here as well. So it's all about community. So yeah, using local builders was important to us.
And what do you think of the finished product then?
It's amazing. I'm so proud.
Wonderful. That sounds like a lovely space for learning, doesn't it? BBC Radio Shropshire's Ryan Kennedy at Tilstock Primary School. How wonderful. They've got their new classroom designed and built by people in the local community.